equal housing lender.
This is Frank Bertorelli with Zap Pest Control. We're here today to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. We're now over 31 years in business. If you don't believe in radio advertisement, give these guys a chance. You won't be disappointed. Zap Pest Control is still on the move today, thanks to the friendships we've made with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Short wave. Take it down, quick. What's it say? Ah, shut up.
It may be silly, but it works as an attention-getting device. Look, when Bluebell comes out with a new flavor of ice cream, it's breaking news. And Kenny Hall from Bluebell is with us. This is sensational.
Thank you.
Tell us about Black Raspberry Fudge ice cream.
Absolutely. So this is our newest creation. It is a decadent combination of black raspberry ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a chocolate fudge swirl. It just blends together so nicely, the sweet and tart raspberry ice cream with that chocolate. And
it's so good. And I needed the lift to start the afternoon. Is this now available in stores?
It's available today in half-gallon and pint sizes for a limited time only.
All right, because, Food Outlet sponsors the morning show, and they've got half gallons on sale, a real half gallon, not one of those supersized 40-ounce things, for $5.55, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good price.
And this is just so delicious. So something you might want to serve your guests over the holiday weekend, people coming over for some barbecue or whatever. Or if you just want to if you're depressed, go to the store, get a half gallon of this, go to bed, put on something you can binge, wrap your legs around the half gallon, and eat the whole thing. I guarantee you'll feel better by the time you're done. Kenny, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That, once again, Black Raspberry Fudge. If you see it, try it by the pint or half gallon. And I hope that you will be inspired to go to Food Outlet to get it. Welcome to Happy Hour. It's 7 minutes after 3 o'clock. David Blackman's going to be joining us this afternoon in just a little bit. And let's take a look at the market futures, see where they finished up today. I could do that on my phone. I don't need you, Fox Business. Well, it took a little hit at the end of the day and finished just under 50,000. The Dow did, so I don't know what got him at the last minute. But Brett McDonald will be along to analyze for us. He with Invista Advisors at 5:15 this afternoon, and an incredible team of people to talk to when you're thinking about investing or planning something for your long-term financial future. He's our guy. Does a great job. 387-0094 is the number to reach him. That's 387-0094. Prepare yourself for a visit to the never-ending American Idiocracy. We'll be getting started here in a moment. It's 3:08.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I had to bump up the weekend rain chances, and I know that's not the news you want to hear on a big weekend like this. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue well into the evening hours tonight before dying out. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday, better than normal rain probabilities with showers and thunderstorms likely at times, locally heavy downpours, highs in the middle 80s, lows tonight in the upper 60s to around 70. Just be flexible with your plans. Not much change Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
I want to thank our virtual producer, Mark Cumby, for sending this clip. This is one of those great moments in hearing history in Congress. Mazie Hirono. She's another, I don't know what it is with liberal Democratic women, but their voices. Elizabeth Warren, AOC. Oh, God. But this highlights Ted Cruz, senator from Texas, who is having none of her Beazle Schmeazit. And Right. So full of crap. How about that? My goodness. In other words, if you're a Democrat and you believe all of those lies that he just debunked, this is not the radio show you want to listen to. Yeah.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
It is the big broadcast, although we got a big weekend coming up. Hope you'll stay tuned this afternoon as David Blackman joins us and we explore the never-ending American idiocracy. And you're invited to call at 334-272-9228.
And here they are.
Well, today they is me, myself, and I, and soon David. Thank you. By the way, for those of you concerned whether or not Rich Thomas is getting enough refreshments on his vacation in Punta Cana, he's texted me and says he's good. He's doing real good. All right, we've got lots to cover between now and 3:30. Man, I listened to a Greg Jarrett piece, and there's a grand jury impaneled in South Florida. Don't be surprised if you hear about indictments against not only Comey and Brennan and all those critters who not only lied to Congress, but blatantly tried to overthrow their own government, using the power of their office to do it, along with Barack Hussein Obama. This will be the biggest scandal in American history. Now, we know legacy media and MSLSD or whatever they're called now, and until somebody is appointed to take over CNN, they'll be shrieking their heads off. Oh, and The View, because Barack Obama can do no wrong. But it's sickening, just sickening to hear the details of what, and there's evidence. I don't know how they don't get indicted, because it's not D.C. where the jury pool is weak. I'll be kind, weak. And I don't see how they escape. Obama might have been a big fool because he will enjoy presidential immunity on anything that happened while he was in office, but he chose to get involved afterwards. And by the way, one of the things keeping Iran going militarily is all that money that he sent them, along with Biden. So, happy afternoon. Anyway, it's 3:20 for guys who are already starting to feel the heat, and that can happen in a multiplicity of ways. The summertime heat seems to be ebbing your energy, and it wasn't very good to begin with. Perhaps you've been things that you need to behave a certain way in intimacy are not working the way they used to. I mean, that comes with aging, but not all of that is irreversible. Go to Montgomery Men's Health. Get the test, the $99 testosterone test, and if the number's low, they can fix it. And boy, you're in for an amazing experience. The rejuvenation of your body, literally coming back to life, more energy, better mental clarity, better sleep, stronger libido, and better performance. It all goes together. They've helped thousands of guys here. So if you're, for whatever reason, feeling self-conscious about doing something that's really going to change your life for the better, that's crazy. Make the call, 334-440-3663, or you can make it online at MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com in the privacy of your own laptop, MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Already some stuff happening on the roads here. Skipper with your first update.
We had a couple of accidents last hour on East South Boulevard, one in the vicinity of the McDonald's and Domino's right down from Marty Lane, the other one at Narrow Lane. We're hoping these have cleared, but please use caution there. Also got an accident now in Prattville, Fairview Avenue at Old Farm Lane. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. We will keep you updated. Traffic light to moderate all over the area. At McKenna Nissan, you can get up to $5,000 off on a new Armada, up to $5,000 on a Nissan Frontier. At the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive to McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up with the J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. That changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
For more than 50 years, the Tears family's been keeping the river region flowing with Roto-Rooter. From drain cleaning to septic repair and installation, no job's too big or too messy with a local team you can trust. So when water won't go where it's supposed to, call the hometown experts who've been serving Montgomery for over half a century. That's 272-7130. Or visit rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
If you're a local business owner doing digital marketing, quick question, are you getting the results you should be? At Blue Water Broadcasting, we see clients every day who thought their digital was working okay until we showed them a more cost-effective way to run their digital. With 7 radio stations and a full suite of digital solutions, we offer everything from search ads and social media to targeted OTT display and more. We don't just run ads, we build strategic campaigns that drive real results. Before you renew another contract, talk to us. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Well, I just became aware of something, and that is that entire 7-minute Ted Cruz clip was not audible on our stream.
You are an idiot.
The phones rang. If Pamela were here or Jesse or anybody else, they could have answered the phone, but I wasn't able to do that. So I'm going to replay it, though, at 5 or somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour. It's so good. And it's all about the highly annoying Mazie Hirono, the senator from Hawaii, they're freaking out because we've taken away all the elections they've been able to rig since 1964. And Ted Cruz obliterates this woman very calmly, very intelligently, and made her look as ridiculous as she is. And the people of Hawaii for electing that woman. I don't get it. By the way, our stream online is brought to you by the law firm of Delkin Tomlinson, Dana Delkin, Jacqueline Tomlinson, well-versed in all matters of family law. For a consultation, reach out at 819-4810. That's 334-819-4810 for Delk and Tomlinson.
The representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You can also visit them online at thealabamafamilylawyers.com. All right, we've got Blue Water News with Sky Mosley. One more traffic update. Rich's forecast, and then David Blackman joins us.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A man is dead following a Tuesday evening incident involving Prattville police. Officers responded to a disturbance on Fairview Avenue where a man who appeared intoxicated was walking in and out of traffic and waving his arms. Police subdued the man and then requested medical assistance. While being evaluated, the man suffered a cardiac event and was taken to a local hospital where he later died. Montgomery County Sheriff Derek Cunningham is thanking voters who approved an expansion of Aniah's Law. Amendment 1 was approved by 82% of voters statewide. The constitutional amendment will allow judges more flexibility to deny bail for people charged with serious crimes. Aniah's Law will now include offenses such as attempted murder and firing a gun into an occupied building or vehicle. The City of Montgomery is announcing the grand reopening of Regency Park Community Center on Wednesday, May 27th. The center has undergone numerous renovations to better serve families, youth, and residents of all ages in the community. In addition to the building updates, the pool will officially open for the season beginning on Tuesday. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey Publix.
We had a couple of accidents last hour on East South Boulevard. One in the vicinity of the McDonald's and Domino's right down from Marty Lane. The other one at Narrow Lane. We're hoping these have cleared, but please use caution there. Also got an accident now in Prattville, Fairview Avenue at Old Farm Lane. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. We will keep you updated. Traffic light to moderate all over the area. At McKenna Nissan, you can get up to $5,000 off on a new Armada, up to $5,000 on a Nissan Frontier. At the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive to McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up with the J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Leanne Morgan, the Time of Our Lives tour.
My children went to a small Christian school in Knoxville, and the girl that worked front desk was Jeannie, who's a good friend of mine. And I dropped my little children off that morning. And I came back that afternoon, and Jeannie saw me walk in, and she grabbed her chest and said, "Oh my gosh, Leanne, how are you walking?" She said, "Maggie said you had surgery today." I said, "Jeannie, I got my IUD replaced."
Montgomery Performing Arts Center, Due to Demand, third show added July 26th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Mayday, Mayday, may I have your attention? I want to announce that Pizza Perfect in May, you can buy a large pizza at the regular price and get a large single topping pizza for only $10. You already know that Pizza Perfect has the best pizza buffet in town, including spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13 at lunch and dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday all day. In May, buy any large pizza at the regular price and get a large single topping pizza for $10. Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook, available for pickup and delivery.
Congressman Barry Moore has always delivered for Alabama. As a member of the House Freedom Caucus, Barry Moore earned a score of 100 from Heritage Action for protecting our values. He's helped thousands of Alabama families, fought for our veterans as a veteran himself, and secured millions for infrastructure, first responders, and public safety. Barry Moore helped pass Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, delivering tax cuts for hardworking Alabama families, and stood strong to secure our borders. Now, Barry is taking that fight to the United States Senate. Barry Moore will defend our freedoms, defend the Second Amendment, protect our children, stand up for parents, and keep boys out of girls' sports while continuing to cut taxes and lower prices. Endorsed by President Trump, Barry Moore is a proven conservative Alabama can trust.
I'm Congressman Barry Moore. I rolled up my sleeves in Congress, and I'll keep fighting for Alabama in the U.S. Senate. I'm Barry Moore, a conservative fighter, and I approve this message.
Approved and paid for by Barry Moore for U.S. Senate.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of healthcare you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients. From making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly, to getting to know you and your family's needs, and following up on any questions you may have, Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I had to bump up the weekend rain chances, and I know that's not the news you want to hear on a big weekend like this. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue well into the evening hours tonight before dying out. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday, better than normal rain probabilities with showers and thunderstorms likely at times, locally heavy downpours, highs in the middle 80s, lows tonight in the upper 60s to around 70. Just be flexible with your plans. Not much change Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
As the 21st century began, natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. A dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Welcome to the world of Idiocracy with Greg, Pamela, and experts, especially David Blackman, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of Idiocracy. The tales of Idiocracy. Oh, the tales of Idiocracy. It's the tales of Idiocracy.
And now we go to somewhere in Texas to visit with the man with the 10-gallon brain, whose extraordinary blog is the... Who was the one that used the term? Was it Obama? The Northern Star for this afternoon production.
The Northern Star from Texas. Yeah, okay.
I think what I just said is that you are my Mom Donnie. Yes, the guy. Whenever I'm not sure I turn to
be that, Greg.
I'll rethink that. These whimsical ideas I come up with, I need to dial it back just a little bit. Great to see you. Great to have you on. Lots to talk about today. Just amazing. I played, unfortunately, our YouTube viewers didn't hear it. I'm going to play it after our segment is over today. The Ted Cruz takedown on Mazie Hirono and all of the pearl clutching over the redistricting ruling by the Supreme Court. And he just says, what was the party of slavery? What was the party of Jim Crow? What was the party that did this, all these horrible things to minorities? It was all Democrats.
It was all Democrats, yes.
And how is this country so monumentally ignorant on that topic? Well, the media doesn't help.
Yeah, we don't teach it in schools. I mean, we have it for 3 generations of Americans now.
Isn't that something? There was even a textbook. This is a bit of a scandal a few years ago. A textbook that said Abe Lincoln was a Democrat. I mean, when you have control, they'll go that far,
right?
To bend the story in a direction that works for them. So, Trump, I see, there's a big headline on Fox News, 61% disapprove of Donald Trump. I think a chunk of that is just people expressing frustration over the gas prices and the collateral damage that that's causing.
Yeah.
And they want that fixed. And let's face it, his time frames have been slightly off. More than slightly off.
More than slightly.
So I think there's still a fundamental belief in him. And the evidence is 37-0 in endorsements on this past Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, not just Tuesday, but during the primary season, he's won 37 out of 37 races, the candidates he's endorsed. And of course, that included Ed Gallrein, who beat Thomas Massey on Tuesday and liberated the country from that idiot. And so that'll be nice.
I saw a picture.
And hopefully it'll include John next Tuesday.
I saw a picture of Massey in a suit, and it reminded me of somebody. And then I finally figured it out. Ernest T. Bass, all dressed up.
It's T. Bass.
He better find another picture, because when you take a good long look, and that's not a very flattering metaphor, but what kind of a person, because just weeks ago, that guy, according to polling then, had 74% support. He was going to cakewalk his way. And in that short of a period of time, manages to lose to the Trump-endorsed candidate, and then turns around and says, well, I'm probably going to run for president now.
Well, I know Tucker Carlson would love him to run for president.
Speaking of Tucker, what was his endorsement record lately? 0-6?
I don't think Tucker's in that business. But, I mean, obviously he wanted Massey to win. Obviously he didn't want Marjorie Taylor Greene to leave the Congress. I'm sure if you asked him, Tucker would rather see John Cornyn win next Tuesday than Ken Paxton, and on and on. And, every time one of his people loses, it's all the fault of the Jews. And it's the act is getting very old at this point.
Speaking of the Jews and the Zionists, quote unquote,
Which is this code for the Jews? Okay, let's be honest about that.
That's kind of how I read it. But who's this lunatic in your state? This woman. Tell us about that, and how is that playing in Texas media? Are they making excuses for her? Milano or something like that.
Yeah, she's a candidate out of San Antonio running for House District 35, which is a district that runs from southern part of San Antonio into the southern part of Austin, right up Interstate 35. And it's a Democrat district that's been held for the last 20 odd years by a guy named Lloyd Doggett, who 25 years ago was a fairly sane individual. And of course, he's a Democrat and just went completely nuts. And, but he finally got too old to serve, thank God, and is retiring. But this lady, actually, she's in a runoff with another candidate there in that district in the Democrat primary on Tuesday. She got the most votes in about a 7-way race in the primary. And so she and this other person, I think another lady, qualified for the runoff, and she's probably not going to win the runoff, thank God. But, the other one candidate's probably no more sane than she is. But yeah, she wants to take an ICE internment camp or camp, whatever they call them, where they're holding the detention center where they're holding illegals that they've identified and are waiting to send back to whatever country they come from. She wants to turn that into a concentration camp for what she calls Zionists. But of course, in today's Democratic Party and the woke right, Tucker Carlson and all these people, Megyn Kelly. The word Zionist is just a code word for the Jews. Okay. This is Hitlerian stuff that we've got going on now in the Democratic Party in our country. And it's every bit the same as being in Germany around 1935. And this is a very insidious thing to take very seriously.
Yes.
Because the path the Democratic Party's on is exactly the same path that the National Socialist Party was on in Germany throughout the 1930s. And, if they regain power, Jewish people in this country and any supporter of Israel had better take measures to protect themselves, because these folks are deadly serious. This is not a joke. This is what they truly believe. And I don't know why it's coming at this time. I know Tucker Carlson, I'm sure, is just doing it for money, and so is Megyn Kelly. They're probably getting millions of dollars from Arab countries to do it. But people like this lady running for this congressional seat, and like Ilhan Omar and AOC, they're true believers in this stuff. And it seems to be particularly focused in single women in the Democrat side.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what that dynamic is there. I don't really understand it. But it does appear to be heavily focused in, fairly young Gen Xers, millennial, single women in the Democratic Party. And there's something happening with that segment of our society that I don't understand, and I don't really see anybody else who really understands it, but it's really dangerous for our country.
It's so interesting because they're always using the Nazi Beazle Schmeazit on Trump or MAGA. Yet they're the ones. Hey, didn't the Jews and the Zionists cost Thomas Massie his seat? I heard that.
That's what Thomas Massie. Yeah, that's what Tucker Carlson said. He recorded an episode of his podcast last night with the pollster Rich Barris, who runs the Big Data poll, which during the 2024 election cycle was very accurate.
I remember you talking about him, yes.
Yeah. But he's gone completely nuts. He
Really?
has gone completely into Tucker Carlson. So this guy puts out a fake poll last week claiming to show Massie with about a 0.2% lead in the race, and absolutely guaranteed Massie was going to win. Now, he only missed the call by about 10% of the vote. Every other pollster had the race pegged pretty right, 7
Yes, including you and your blog.
Yeah, but so Barris has just completely destroyed his reputation as a pollster. And so Carlson, he wants to do an episode with one of the pollsters in that race. So he could have picked one of the 4 or 5 that got it almost exactly right, but he picks Rich Barris. Why? Because Rich Barris has gone completely off into Nazi land with him.
Jeez.
So it's just insidious and awful, and I just hate that it's happening in our country.
Delicate question here, David. Are the Zionists and the Jews rigging the election against Cornyn next week?
I love that theory. Yeah, there's a bunch of people out on social media now claiming that Trump rigged the election with the Jews to get rid of Massie, right? So anyway, no, I don't think it needs to be rigged. Nobody in Texas likes John Cornyn. There's
nobody outside of Texas likes him either. I want him gone.
In fact, the most effective campaign ad I've seen in this election cycle is one that Paxton's been running this week. And all it is a video clip of Cornyn talking with superimposed on the screen the question. John Cornyn's had a 35-year political career in state and federal office. Name one thing John Cornyn has done for Texas in all that time. You can't do it. The man has never achieved anything to the benefit of the state of Texas in his career. So there's no well of real support for John Cornyn in Texas, especially among Republicans. And so, it's not going to be a close election. And, Paxton's going to be the nominee.
What are they going to learn? What is Thune thinking he's going to do in 2028 when he has to run again? That he's going to have a chance in hell against somebody that Donald Trump picks? And that all, in fact, I even went off on this on my morning show, which I rarely get political unless it's really big or urgent. That 80% of us want the Save America Act passed. 80% of all of us. And they can't bring themselves to do that. And I don't understand what the big barrier there is with that jackass. But do you think any of this is going to motivate him to get it done?
No, because look, we've got 20 Republican senators, nominally Republican senators, who hate Trump every bit as much as the average Democrat hates Trump. Not because of political preference, but because Trump is upsetting their apple cart, their income stream. They've got this rigged system in the DC swamp. They're all getting filthy, stinking rich, doing insider trading and getting involved in all these shady grifts that, you have access to when you're a United States senator. And Trump is the guy who's trying to end all that. So they hate him with a passion. And this is Trump's bill. And so they're not going to pass it, just like they recessed today. Thune told the Senate conference today to go home tonight and don't come back until June, because President Trump demanded that they have that DHS funding bill on his desk by June 1st. And he's doing that just to spite Donald Trump because he hates him so much. That's why the Senate is going to be recessed for 12 days. And it's despicable. And there's really not much to say about it other than that. It's just despicable, childish behavior.
It's worse than that. It's almost traitorous.
It's definitely against the interests of the country for sure.
It plays. It's a great illustration, because it happens on both sides of the aisle, to George Carlin's commentary on the owners of the country. And in that clip, he says, "It's a big club, and you ain't in it." And Donald Trump is not in that club. And obviously, Cornyn looked like hell after the primary the other day. He looked like...
Yeah, he's not aging well.
Well, he also looked like... I honestly thought, from the way he comported himself, he was still expecting to win somehow.
Yeah. Well, I think he was really shocked that President Trump did that endorsement on Tuesday, which I don't care. I'm glad.
Yeah, no, and he had it coming. What are they doing? It's not like Cornyn is trying to convince Thune, hey, we're really wrong on this. We need to get the Save America Act done.
Yeah.
Because, in a way, Thune could probably save himself if he grew a pair and managed to get that thing done.
Well, he could have saved John Cornyn. I mean, that was the deal. Remember, after the primary in March, the deal was, it was all over the place. Everybody knew what the deal was. All that had to happen was for Cornyn and Thune to make sure the Save America Act got passed. And Trump was going to endorse Cornyn. Going to make that trade. All they had to do was pass a bill that 80% of the American public wants.
It's so sick.
And they could have saved Cornyn. And, Thune is very unpopular now in South Dakota, in his home state. North Dakota. And he's going to have a really hard time getting reelected in 28. And so if Trump wants to get rid of him, all he's got to do is find a good, solid candidate to run against Thune and endorse him. And Thune will go down to defeat. And the same thing with John Barrasso and James Lankford from Oklahoma. And what's her name? Shelley Capito from South Carolina. These parts of the leadership team that follow Thune around all over the Capitol building and look like a bunch of toadies from the Christmas Story. The same thing with them. When they're up for re-election, if Trump wants to run a candidate in their primary and endorse that candidate, they're all going to get beat because they're all just like John Cornyn.
Yeah.
Nobody in their homes, there is no well of support for any of them in their home states because they're so disloyal and so fake in their conservatism that even the Republicans in their states don't like them. So,
Am I reading this correctly that in South Dakota, Thune's approval is at 28%?
28%. And
Doesn't
that's
that-
down
he
from
doesn't seem to care.
34% in January. I mean, he's losing ground this year big time. So, anyway.
Wow.
But he was very popular, up until just a few years ago. But it's, his ascending into the majority leader spot has been really bad for his personal popularity because he's not good at it.
No. And the choices at that time, if I recall, nobody really lit our fire at that point.
No,
Or Senate
Cornyn
majority.
was his main competition, and John Barrasso from Wyoming, who would have been the better pick. Barrasso is not a terrible guy. I've met him, and I think when he came into the Senate anyway, he was well intentioned. And Thune probably was too. But you get over there in that swamp, as Tommy Tuberville has said, you get out there in that swamp and you got all these people coming at you with all this stuff, and if you don't have strong personal character, like Coach does, it can really get you, and it can get you fast.
Well, I don't want to use the word naive, but I've been talking to Senator Tuberville since he was elected. He's been a guest on the show about once a month or so, always available. We always appreciate that. And I listen to him when he speaks, and there's an element of disbelief in his voice that some of these people actually exist. He goes there with sincere intentions of, trying to get some things done, keep the promises he made to the people of Alabama. And the more he learns, the more he's in a universe that he really doesn't want to be in. I mean, after one term. But we're going to be very happy to have him as governor of the state. That's for sure. In fact, here's a live commentary from the mayor's office on our future governor, Tommy Tuberville. Yeah. I think we'll see forensic audits. It's amazing, David. We pay very high taxes in Montgomery. They won't even suspend the 3 cent. They snuck that in a few years ago. Another one of those temporary tax increases. And nothing gets done. Our roads are crap. We've had sinkholes open up here and there. And there's nothing but one story after another coming out of City Hall about incompetence and corruption.
Yeah.
And here's an interesting little tidbit, just one of those random facts. Did you know, as Jay Scott would say, that our weather guy, Rich Thomas, took a few days off this week to enjoy some time in the Caribbean before hurricane season starts up. And for the third time, and this is just random, Rich is smart with his money, and when he goes somewhere, he flies first. And if he can, it's always worth it. For the third time on a flight, the guy in the first class seat across from him was our mayor. I didn't see anything in the local media about where he was going, who's paying for the ticket, etc.
Who's paying for that?
What are the odds on that 3 times on 3 separate trips to 3 different destinations, he ends up in first class with the mayor of Montgomery?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Maybe he cashed in his points.
Yeah,
we have one more post-primary stop to make.
Well, Mitch McConnell was not going to be in the Senate anymore. And he picked a guy to take my place, but Donald Trump.
Give us a quick take on that, please.
Well, yeah. So McConnell's handpicked successor was a fellow named Daniel Cameron, who was a former chief of staff at one point for Mitch. And, exactly the same kind of fake Republican Mitch McConnell is. And so when McConnell announced he was going to retire at the end of this current term, which is, as of January 1st. He also gave a tacit endorsement to this Daniel Cameron guy. And for several months, Cameron was big favorite to win the GOP primary for that seat. But then Andy Barr, who has been in the House, announced he was going to run. And I don't know how long ago, 3-4 weeks ago, President Trump endorsed Andy Barr, and Barr ended up winning that primary election in Kentucky with 58, something like that. And Cameron got about 25% of the vote in a 3-way race. So he went down in flames. And, Andy Barr's a pretty conservative guy. And is, a solid Republican, solid conservative, and not Mitch McConnell. And so that's another big win. Didn't get as much attention, not nearly as much as Massey's election, but just another big win in Kentucky. And there were wins all over the place, Tuesday, that were very, very important.
Hey, David, could you give us a quick review of Stephen Colbert's last show on CBS?
I didn't even know it was his last show last night.
Neither did most of America. Only the
or is it tonight? Was last night the final show, or Tuesday night? I don't even know what night it was. Anyway, I don't care.
Yeah,
screw the guy. I'm glad he's
gone. Yeah, really.
Late night. He destroyed there is one thing to say about Stephen Colbert, is he more than anyone else destroyed late night talk as a genre. Okay. He did more to destroy it than anyone. And, Jimmy Kimmel, there was a point in Jimmy Kimmel's life when he was actually funny. And and was still doing okay when Colbert came along and decided to be just a political show. And both Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon decided, well, that apparently is the mode now, so we're going to have to do it too. But it was Colbert that really set that all in motion. So screw that guy. Glad he's gone. I wish nothing but hardness and bitterness for the rest of his life. No success. I usually am a pretty gracious and generous person in wishing people for their future, but not for Colbert. He's been a force for real, true evil in our country for a decade.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree. By the way, boy, his political power, when he wields it, though, was unmatched. I'll never forget how he helped his sister lose a race in the House in South Carolina about 4 or 6 years ago.
I don't even remember that. That happened?
See, these are the things that I remember. It's the stuff when I walk into a room, what am I doing here? What did I come in here for? Those are the ones I'm struggling with.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, his sister, of course, it didn't get a lot of attention because you don't want to make one of your talking heads look bad. But yeah, he had zero influence in that South Carolina race years ago. And I am looking forward to Governor Tuberville. All right, we are at 4 o'clock, so we're going to take our first of 2 breaks. We have 3 long segments with David Blackman, and when we come back, you're welcome to call 334-272-9228 to join us on the phone. Oh, my goodness, we have an episode of Autopsy, the DNC, that we have to check out as well, along with a whole slew of other topics with David. Follow David, subscribe to his blog at davidblackman.substack.com, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes, my friend.
All right.
Excellent. All right, with this hot, humid weather. By the way, it looked to me like some showers were starting to pop up. And looking at the Live in Fear Doppler, yeah, we're going to see some of this stuff in our neck of the woods, probably at the very end of the rush hour, the way it looks now. But there are some clouds out there that look ominous. I'll go take a look in just a moment. But with the humidity, the heat, Clark's is the best friend you can have in this town. Clark's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. For a $180 investment over 12 months, that's it, for the whole year. They'll come out to your house twice, tune and inspect your system, make sure it's clean and running efficiently. If your system needs a repair, they'll suggest it. You make the call. They're not the kind of people that just pull stuff out of thin air. They don't need to. But you get a discount on parts and labor when you do. The whole idea is to prevent a meltdown or a shutdown with your system. You can also buy a new unit through Clarkson. I urge you to consider that because I did. I like the price, but the performance of the unit cut my electric bills in half, and after 3 years, it paid for itself. No kidding. They also have the best plumbers in town. And when plumbing goes bad, if something happens there, that's often a situation that can't wait another day for help. When you're a Clark's Club member, it's on the way when you call 277-2125 here in the 334. Visit ClarkComfort.com for more information. Their Alabama certification number 09098. And we hit the 4 o'clock hour with traffic and Skipper.
Well, my goodness, we are rolling right along this afternoon, not seeing any accidents at the moment that we're aware of. However, we have a grass fire, Highway 231 at Trotman Road. That is on your way over to Troy, not really affecting Montgomery, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, but if you're headed to Troy, watch out for that. We will update you when accidents happen to slow you down. High school students, Trentham State Community College dual enrollment program lets you earn college credit while you're still in high school. Take the first step towards your college journey. Go to trenthamstate.edu for more information. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Before you commit to that plumbing repair or upgrade, get a second opinion from Headley Plumbing. Our estimate could save you thousands. We do it all, residential, commercial, and septic tank service, serving the entire river region. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the river region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
And now, a woman's thoughts on Chardonnay Day.
Ah, yes, Chardonnay. Like a good friend, you're always there for me after a long day of work, and before a long day of work, and during a long day of work. You always listen, you never judge, and unlike my first husband, you never run out. Chardonnay, you don't deserve a day, you deserve every day, which is why I proudly display you on the counter of my nightstand. So a toast to Chardonnay. May you have a long and prosperous life. Okay, I'm off to work.
And that was A Woman's Thoughts on Chardonnay Day.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
More with David Blackman coming up. And remember,
God loves you.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Another winning quarter for the nation's largest retailer, Walmart, delivering another strong quarter of sales as the discounter's speedy deliveries and low prices served as a magnet for shoppers across the spectrum. Walmart has resonated with many Americans who are carefully considering whether they spend money because of inflation, and how the company performs is considered a barometer, in fact, of consumer spending on a broader level. President Trump says concern for the people of Cuba, both those still living in the country and those exiled in the United States, is part of the reason for the indictment of former Cuban leader Raul Castro. He was indicted yesterday along with 5 others in connection with the Cuban military's fatal downing of 2 planes 30 years ago, killing American citizens. 3 people dead and more than a dozen first responders hospitalized after they were exposed to an unidentified substance in a New Mexico home. This is SRN News.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-555-2085. 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at some of the headlines this afternoon, and God, the Democrats are just insane. Now they're giving credit to Donald Trump and the they-them ad that he ran for Kamala's loss. You know, I'd be a lot more worried about the future, but they are absolutely insane, and they're going about things in 180 degrees from the direction I would recommend, and you'll hear a good example of that. In fact, you can listen to it right now on my Facebook page. I would prefer you wait till we're done with David or after the show, but it's an amazing takedown by Ted Cruz of Mazie Hirono, who is one of the Democrats of the Voice Like. She went to the Elizabeth Warren School of Articulation. That will be coming up after the 5 o'clock hour. Right now at 4:08, Rich's forecast ahead in 2, and then David.
A great lawn doesn't happen by accident. It takes a pro. That's where Turf by Pest Pro comes in. We handle the weeds, feed your grass, and take care of fire ants so your lawn stays healthy, strong, and looking its best, which means your yard is ready for cookouts, playtime, and making memories all season long. Get started today. Call 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. That's 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. When you want to grow, call a pro. Turf by Pest Pro.
Stanley spent his life in the saddle, wrangling whatever life threw at him. But nothing prepared him for the fight against low T and ED. Shane practically hunched him over. Bonbon pills just gave him a headache. He begged for a lifeline.
Well, maybe it's over.
Montgomery Men's Health said no. Medical conditions, old age, there's hope. This is about real treatments. Science, not one-size-fits-all guesswork. Montgomery Men's Health was designed for men who hate going to the doctor. Personalized plans, cutting-edge treatments, overseen by an actual urologist and providers that take the time to listen. With low T and ED treatments others only dream about, we fight like hell to get you back in the saddle. Because every second you wait, your condition could worsen. Act now. Don't let time slip away. Dial 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Your consultation is only $99, including blood work. And you'll know your T level before you leave. Montgomery Men's Health. Making it happen.
Did you know Epicure and Jack's Tavern is also a butcher shop?
Epicure and Jack's Tavern wet age premium cuts in-house and hand cut every steak themselves. That means you're eating the same quality beef restaurants brag about, because they are the ones cutting it. From ribeyes to fillets, this is craftsmanship you can taste. Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where the butcher and the steakhouse live under one roof.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m. Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Truckers, listen up. A $2,500 sign-on bonus only at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Work for a company that puts God and family first. 855-777-9785. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I had to bump up the weekend rain chances, and I know that's not the news you want to hear on a big weekend like this. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue well into the evening hours tonight before dying out. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday, better than normal rain probabilities with showers and thunderstorms likely at times, locally heavy downpours, highs in the middle 80s, lows tonight in the upper 60s to around 70. Just be flexible with your plans. Not much change Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Big dreams for your home on a tight budget? ASE's $26.26 as you covered. Unlock your home's equity with just $26 in closing costs. No fees, no headaches. Visit your local ASE branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 420259.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Let's kick off our next segment with David Blackman with this clip. That's going to play for me, right?
Voting is not in danger, and you know it's not. And you know it's not. I'm 63 years old. I've been voting since I was 18. I have never had a problem voting. Now, that may apply to my mother and father. It applies to my grandparents. Surely it does. And in fact, because it does, every single person in this room, including that Jewish lady that just got up and talked, need to really be thanking us. Really need to be thanking us for getting y'all the right to vote, for getting y'all the right to be here, instead of sitting up here manipulating the Voting Rights Act like something's getting ready to happen to our right to vote.
Gee, that was probably propaganda from some Zionist.
Oop, I got the echo back.
Yeah, that's because we're going to see if we can get it fixed. But for you to hear a clip, I have to push the audition button down, and that's what causes the echo. But you know me with my lightning fast hands. When we need to go back and forth, we'll do the best we can with that. Sorry, but I did make our company aware of it. They, in all honesty,
well, there may not be anything they can do about it, you know.
Well, they took my complaint seriously.
We must do something about this immediately! Immediately! Harumps!
That was about 2 weeks ago, and I think I was walking past the boss's office and heard.
Screw it.
So when they can fix it, they'll fix it. This DNC autopsy is comedy gold, but we need to go visit our state next door, Georgia. Interesting things happening there. Tell us about the significance of the Supreme Court races there and how that's a template for what may happen in November.
Yeah, so like in most states, their Supreme Court justices are elected statewide offices. Excuse me. And two of the justices were up this time. I think they do staggered 6-year terms, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, the Republicans have a majority on the court. Of course, it's supposed to be a nonpartisan thing, but everyone knows if they're Republicans or Democrats. And so the races were supposed to be close. You know, all the wishful thinking people in the media and pollsters have projected
Rich Barris.
Yeah, Rich Barris, yeah. But they ended up not being real close, and the Republicans won both of them. But if they'd have gone the other way, you know, that would have been a pretty significant thing in Georgia. It could have really helped tilt that state to the Democrats. overall with, liberal court decisions coming down from that court. So that was a real big deal, I think, in these primary elections. And then, of course, you have, or that wasn't a primary. I mean, that was the election. But then you had Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, who helped rig Georgia in 2020 with the governor, Brian Kemp. And he was running to replace Kemp, who was term limited out. And early on in that race, the conventional wisdom was that Raffensperger was going to be the favorite. Well, he ended up getting 15% of the vote. So he didn't win the GOP nomination. Which
sounds like he
really
went to the John Cornyn School of Self-Awareness. 15%?
15. I mean, he did even worse than Bill Cassidy did in Louisiana on Saturday.
Oh, that guy. Ooh. Yeah. There's one human being I would love
Such a
to.
Weasel. Yeah.
Total weasel. 15%. I mean, that's
15.
just. But do you think he learned anything from that? Did the Republicans learn anything from that? Trump, 37-0 on the endorsements. Have they not figured out yet that we may not be happy with the way things are going in Iran and gas prices and all that, but we trust him on so many other issues?
Yeah,
and we know he's not one of them.
He's not, and the problem is that the Republican Party has, over the past 20 years, been really significantly infiltrated with these people who are Democrats pretending to be Republicans, like Raffensperger, like Bill Cassidy, and half of the supposedly Republicans in the Senate, and it's going to take several election cycles to get them all out of there. I hope Trump can live long enough to endorse enough of their challengers to tilt the balance back to where it ought to be. But it's been a problem with the Republicans for a long time. I saw a guy on X posting about, what we really need is a 60 vote Republican majority in the Senate, and then we can get things done. And I responded, I said, if John Thune's the leader of a 60 vote majority, they'll still get nothing done, because you'll still have 20 people in the Republican conference in the Senate who hate Donald Trump. So it's just not, it doesn't matter how many you have, if half of them are effectively Democrats. And anyway, it's a tough situation. It really is.
I don't mean, I want to come back to Georgia, but I want to hit this while it's hot. What's going on in Seattle? And I think, in this DNC autopsy, again, they're probably getting their own advice, which is the worst place to get it.
Right.
And the incorporation and advancement of socialism. I mean, today I saw a lot of rain in New York, and there's homeless debris and everything else floating down the streets.
Yeah.
Because they've got this wonderful new utopian mayor, Mamdani, with his cute little smile. But the mayor there, who looks like she's about 12 years old, is finally getting some blowback, because when Starbucks said, hey, you're taxing us out of here, and then backed it up, she said, bye.
Yeah.
She's a moron. She's a 24-karat moron.
Yes.
But there must be a lot of morons that went to the polls and voted for this woman. I don't know what they expected or what she promised, but you're running off, large employers like that. Her socialist utopia is not going to be around for long. That's just amazing. And they've been hitting her hard. But the real point in all of that is, how does somebody like that get to be mayor to begin with? That's
right. It's extraordinary, because, I mean, really with her, if you listen to that lady talk for 30 seconds, you realize this is a functional moron.
Yes.
She is really a very stupid individual.
Yes.
There's nothing going on in that brain.
No.
That's worth anything. It's just like the lady out of San Antonio. She posted a video denying she'd ever said those things this afternoon. And you watch that video and you realize this is a very unintelligent human being. And it's just blatantly obvious. So how did she ever get into this position to begin with? You really do have to wonder that. With AOC, people say she's stupid, but I don't think AOC is really stupid. She's just a little crazy.
Yeah.
But she's really very clever in a lot of ways. She's very clever on social media. She's really smart at manipulating a certain segment of the Democratic Party voter base. But this lady in Seattle, I don't think there's a clever cell in that cranium.
No.
There just isn't.
No. I want to, you just mentioned AOC. Give me a second here. I want to put something on the screen that you and everybody else can see. This picture of AOC. And, okay.
That's a little enhanced. Maybe not.
That's,
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, it may or may not be, but this is from her campaign.
Really?
And yes. This is not.
Okay.
I mean, as best I can tell, this was an authorized photo. And while she loves touting the socialism, nothing works in a campaign pose like
boobies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I've said this for months. They are softening her look. They are toning it. They're trying to make her look more feminine, or dare I say, sexy.
Yeah. Well,
but the one thing they can't change is that voice.
No, you can't change the voice, and I know she's even tried to tone that down from time to time. But whenever she gets upset and excited, like she did in a hearing today about data centers, which she knows absolutely nothing about, and they were complaining about a data center going up in Georgia that's creating runoff issues, supposedly runoff water issues. And it could be that, that could be real. And, big industrial installations are supposed to mitigate for runoff issues. And a lot of times it doesn't happen right. Anyway, she's got this jar of dirty water that somebody had filled up out of one of the drainage ditches coming off of that property. Okay. So it's untreated water. It's just runoff water, supposedly. And she's holding this up, yelling and screaming, with that harsh Queen's accent of hers.
Yes.
That this is what the drinking water looks like in this county in Georgia. Well, it's not. Okay. It just isn't. It's a lie, first of all. But she can't help herself getting all riled up and sounding like, somebody who ought to be a host on The View.
Yeah.
So it's a real weakness of hers. I continue to believe she's going to be a real factor in the Democratic 2028 nominating race. I think there's still an outside chance she could be the nominee, even because the party's just gone so far off the deep end. And so she's not someone to take lightly.
Oh no, you're 100% right on that. And honestly, I want to live as long as I can, but I do not want to live long enough to see her in the White House.
No.
I don't think I could cope with that. I really don't.
You may be familiar. There was a movie made in 1969 during the height of the hippie days.
David is frozen in time.
Whoops. Can you see me?
Now we got you.
Okay.
Back.
In
Yes,
1969, there was a movie made in Hollywood at the height of the hippie movement called Wild in the Streets. Do you remember this movie?
I remember the title. I don't think I ever saw it.
Just a C movie, but it was about what would happen if a hippie got elected president. And, that's my vision of what would happen to America. And it's just all this nutty crap you can imagine with the first lady walking around topless and, all this stuff. And of course, that's the part I remember. But anyway.
Now I know for sure I didn't see that movie.
My vision of what's going to happen to the country if AOC ends up being elected president. So, yeah, I don't want to live through that.
We were talking about Barris. Literally, you think he may have irreparably damaged his reputation as a pollster with his, getting into bed with Tucker?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because
you can't be that wrong.
Yeah, before the last few months, when he's just gone completely off this deep end over the Iran thing, and it was really started even before Iran. He was considered one of the better pollsters, a very credible person in Republican circles. But that credibility, I just don't think you can recover from what he did with the Massey race, because it's clear his poll was clearly as faked up. You remember in the 2024 presidential election, this highly respected pollster in Iowa who had worked for the big newspaper in Des Moines for years and years, dummies up this completely fake poll showing Harris winning.
I remember the Des Moines dummy.
Remember this?
Yes.
I mean, I think he's done that poll that he published about the Massey race was that bad. And I don't know how you recover from that, because it was just clearly falsified poll trying to influence the race at the last minute. And I don't know how he recovers from that.
How many times can Tucker be wrong before people start to really take a second look at what he's spewing?
I don't know. His audience is going down, but it's slow. It's not like his audience has collapsed or anything. He and Megyn Kelly both have lost a lot of viewers, but they had a lot of viewers to begin with. So, it's still a very big audience.
We know that the legacy media loves to find the worst polling numbers on Donald Trump and run with those, but Rasmussen, who we've always respected, they've got Trump at 43.
Yeah.
That's right where Obama was. Biden was at that point too, although he didn't know it. The rest of us did.
It's where Obama was. It's where Reagan was at this point in his presidency. Trump is just right in the average for sitting presidents in their second term. And, the key is just going to be getting past this Iran thing, getting gas prices back to close to where they were, at least on February 28th. I don't think they're going to be back where they were for a long time, if ever. But, instead of 450, get them down to 3.25.
Yeah.
Then maybe you're going to have a real shot at holding the House in November. But it needs to happen pretty quick. And I don't know that there is a fast out on Iran that doesn't just look just like the deal Obama had with them.
And whatever it is, the Zionists will be taking the lion's share of the blame. So
yes, of course they will. Yeah. And if that lady in San Antonio wins her race, they'll be going into concentration camps, I guess.
That's the kind of thing I would like to see somebody like Mark Dice, who I still watch, go on this, do an on the street thing. What is a Zionist, and see what kind of answers he gets.
Right. I'll guarantee you what the answer from 50% of the people is going to be. It's going to be, well, it's Jews. Guarantee you, half the people would say that, because they don't understand the distinction, and that's the whole point of using that word.
Mm-hmm.
By these people using that word, they understand that in most people's minds, Zionist equates with a Jewish person, and that's what they're trying to do. That's who they're trying to demonize and turn into monsters in our society, just like the Nazis did in 1930s Germany.
We have one more segment with David Blackman coming up in just a couple of minutes. We got to talk about Spencer Pratt. We have to talk about a little more on the DNC offset and the loss of one of America's greatest beers. I can't believe that Schlitz is dead.
Yeah.
So we'll get to all of these things coming up. Subscribe to David's blog at davidblackman.substack.com. It is the first thing in my inbox most mornings, and I don't want to say he's my Northern Star, because that I was just kind of cracking wise because of Obama and Mamdani in New York. But yeah, Guiding Light works. How about that? And we'll also get a take on, we just briefly touched on oil and gas prices, Iran, your latest take on that as well. Although the market was back over 50 on the Dow and Indexes look good, but man, it's a very shaky kind of thing, ain't it? We'll cover all of it in the next half hour here on News Talk 93.1 FM. In the meantime, we will visit the traffic dungeon, and I'm hoping you'll visit a great new restaurant that's open here in town, Smoky Notes. Smoky Notes. I posted their website yesterday, and I was really, really pleased to see how many people have already gone there and sampled. In fact, I should pull up the comments on that. So you can find it very easily. It's on my Facebook wall. But, man, they've got a great menu and awesome sides, food, kids' meals, all of it. Barbecue sauces I had never heard or thought existed are available. And I think you'll find the menu to be very fairly priced. Now, among the things that I will be saying, and by the way, we're having a listener event there a week from today, 6:30. Brisket melt, got to try that. Smash burgers, love those. The Monte Cristo, pulled pork or chicken, turkey, brisket, smoked wings with potato twists. On the side, they've got pretzel bites. The boudin balls are really, really awesome. Go with the recommended sauce on those. Fried cheese. Yes, fried cheese sticks.
Sticks!
Yes, I said sticks. Pork rinds and Conecuh quesadilla. That was another one that I really loved with a little sour cream. It was really, really awesome. So I hope you'll give them a try. Smoky Notes. Visit SmokyNotes.com for more information. They're on the boulevard where the It'll Do Tavern used to be. They've redecorated. Nice environment. Nice family-friendly restaurant. Give them a try, and maybe you'll join us a week from tonight. All right, Skipper's got traffic. 1819 News is next.
Well, we continue to look pretty good around the area this afternoon. Not really seeing any issues. Montgomery, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, light to moderate afternoon traffic. Some folks are going to be getting off work in just a bit. Keep it here. We'll update you if anything happens to slow you down. Get $1,000 customer cash on Camrys at McKinnon Toyota. Add the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Just a quick note at 4:32 that Rich just sent me a radar. This is what he does. He's on vacation. He's sending me our local radar. There are some pretty large gatherings of showers and thunderstorms off to the west, moving in the general direction of the city. We'll get you an update in a bit. Right now, 1819 News.
News is brought to you by Adams Motorsports of Montgomery, where your pleasure is their business.
Committee, Jim Jordan, says that the leadership of the Southern Poverty Law Center should be pulled into that committee in order to answer some questions. Jordan was referring to the SPLC interim president and CEO Brian Fair. Jordan said on Wednesday of this week that the SPLC is being prosecuted by the U.S. Department of Justice for running a scam and ripping off their donors. On top of that, Jordan says the SPLC falsely labeled conservative groups as hate groups while they continue to run this scam. Jordan says the committee is in discussions with the SPLC to make a hearing possible. The SPLC has $800 million in assets and $700 million in an endowment fund. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
The news cycle can be overwhelming, to say the least. Andrea Tice cuts through all the noise with the daily detail from 1819 News. Alabama and national news in just 10 to 15 minutes. What you need to know before you start your day. Find the Daily Detail wherever you get your podcast.
A man has died as a result of a house fire in Ashford. The fire broke out on Tuesday night. The structure was fully engulfed in flames when firefighters arrived. 68-year-old Howard McLeod is the victim who was inside that home. The Houston County Sheriff's Office is launching an investigation. The University of South Alabama is expanding its on-campus housing by way of acquiring an apartment complex. The university is purchasing the Central House on Stadium complex for $40 million from Cardinal Group. Tenants who are currently at the apartment complex are being notified of future housing plans so that by this fall semester, only students at USA will be living in those apartments. This apartment complex has 384 units and will help alleviate the housing shortage that has been caused by an increase in undergraduate enrollment at the university. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
AdamsMotorsports.com on the web or Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard in Montgomery. That's at Adams Motorsports in Montgomery, where your pleasure is our business. Come by and learn more about the new Suzuki GSX 8R motorcycle and see for yourself the bar has officially been reset.
And this is a painting of my grandfather, the only one he ever had made.
Sometime, take a close look around your house.
This sewing machine was my Aunt Mary's.
If you have possessions that are irreplaceable, consider this. Each year, over 65,000 American homes suffer a fire due to an electrical problem. Are our possessions safe? To know for sure, call Crosby Electric, your exclusive provider of Current Safe, the world's foremost home diagnostic system. Using high-tech equipment, Crosby Electric will check your hidden wiring, panel box, light switches, and electrical outlets to pinpoint potential problems and make sure your things are safe.
Oh, my daughter's second grade art project. I'd die if something happened to this.
Some things can't be replaced by insurance. Don't wait another day. Call 272-2085 for an in-home no-obligation assessment or visit crosbyelectric.com. Don't just think it's safe. Know it's safe.
Now you'll be safe with Current Safe.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
Dewan Walker has been an Alabama Power customer since 1999.
We're being squeezed on every side. We hear about Alabama Power freezing their rates. That's the best news we can get. Alabama Power rate freeze will provide real relief for Alabama working families. Alabama Power is protecting their customers by making data centers pay their full costs. It makes me feel at peace. Alabama Power is really stepping up and doing what's right for customers.
Trust Montgomery's glass experts to provide you with fast and convenient service when and where you need it. Find out how affordable independent glass can be. Free estimates on storefronts, shower doors, furniture tops, plate glass window glass, plexiglass, custom beveled mirrors, residential or commercial services. You come to them or Independent Glass will come to you. Call Independent Glass 263-2823, 263-2823 or stop by 2047 Bell Street near the entrance to Maxwell. Independent Glass.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I had to bump up the weekend rain chances, and I know that's not the news you want to hear on a big weekend like this. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue well into the evening hours tonight before dying out. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday, better than normal rain probabilities with showers and thunderstorms likely at times, locally heavy downpours, highs in the middle 80s, lows tonight in the upper 60s to around 70. Just be flexible with your plans. Not much change Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
I am authorized by Rich Thomas to take a look at the local radar. And I can tell you over the last hour, large masses of showers and thunderstorms have formed to the west, and it looks like, oh, for crying out loud, it looks like we can expect, I got to reboot the radar here. Give me 1 second. Put it in motion. I would say not long before the end of the rush hour at 6, you'll start to see some showers. And then after that, it looks like there's going to be some pretty impressive thunderstorm activity. As we welcome back David Blackman. And David, I got to put the audition button down because we've got to hear this moment of genius from Stephen Colbert. Does anybody? Do you want to see this clip, folks?
No.
Okay, we'll just listen to the audio because Breitbart did a great thing on his self-absorption, his self-idolatry.
That's right. Here's the question, Stephen. What is the question? What do you think happens when we die?
Here's what I picture. Some of these questions, if I answer them, I have to think of what do I think as I'm waiting for the person to answer them. When I give it to them, what comes to mind? And when I comes to mind when I ask this question, I think of almost like it's more like a feeling. And the feeling is that when we die, I think there is some continuance of some kind, but it's like a dispersion of the self into some other greater being. And I don't know, I don't have any other feelings beyond
What a bunch of crap!
He's supposed to be like a Catholic. I guess he knows.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's a
Highly
dedicated and religious
Catholic for sure.
Among his final guests, David,
kind of like Joe Biden was.
Among his final guests, Billy Crystal, shame on you, Billy. Weird Al, shame on him. Josh Brolin, Martha Stewart, she'll sleep with anybody or be on their show. Jim Gaffigan, the list goes on and on and on. Aubrey Plaza. And basically, the translation of that in Breitbart says, look at how awesome I am. Look at how popular I am. Look at all the famous people who love me. Yet, the show's over. It's been a money pit for CBS. And by the way, did you see the stories that, and I don't know how much of this to believe, that they're going to pull back Barry Weiss's influence?
I did see that. I've got the echo again.
It's gone.
But yeah, I did see that story. I don't know if it's accurate or not. It was reported. Who had it? Was it CNN? I don't remember which outlet reported that, but I didn't see it get picked up by a lot of other outlets. So, it may or may not be true. Who knows?
And it won't be long before Ellison and the takeover that he engineered with Paramount.
Yeah, by the fourth quarter.
There'll be some significant changes there. So get it out of yourselves while you can there at CNN, because it's going to be a new day coming soon. Why did Schlitz beer go out of business?
Nobody wanted it. Nasty beer. We used to drink it. Back in the 70s when I was in high school and college, that was our beer of choice, just because it was a dime cheaper for a six-pack than pretty much anything else. And but I never really liked it much. But then I just never really liked beer that much. So, but anyway, I can't say I'm sad to see it go away, other than, it's been a big brand for a long, long time. But everything runs its course.
My sentimental attachment is, when I was a kid, on a hot summer day, my granddad would come over and he and my dad would have those old school beer things with the big top and the narrow bottom.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd pour the Schlitz in there, and it was this beautiful gold color, which I later found out was urine, with a nice foamy top. Well, somebody said it tastes like piss, so and that was I remember the day when my dad said, "You want to take a sip, see what it tastes like? Go ahead." That's what I got, was a sip. But watching the sweat down the side of the glass on a hot summer day, for some reason, that's a vivid memory. Yeah. What I wanted to talk about on this segment is a big blur now for some reason. Actually, I'm kidding. Still,
those days were funny though, Greg, back in the 70s, because we it was before Coors was nationally distributed.
Yeah.
Miller Lite didn't come along until like 1975, I think. And so when I was in high school, I graduated in 74. You didn't have the variety of even Shiner Bock, which now you can get pretty much anywhere in the country, was just this little small brewery in Central Texas that was distributed over maybe a 4 or 5 county area. Which, I actually, Shiner Bock I do actually like, and Miller Genuine Draft. I do like those beers. But anyway, it was just a weird time, or not a weird time, but just a different time when these brands that are everywhere now just weren't national brands. And so,
but did you have friends? Because in Chicago, we would have somebody who would collect money from a bunch of people and would make an actual beer run to Colorado, which is not exactly right around the corner from Chicago. Because Coors, man, Coors. I later went out to Colorado, visit a friend out there. Her husband went to work for Coors after they moved there from Chicago. And I guess they got at that time anyway, they got their beer for free. And her husband eventually did die from liver disease. I don't know if there's a connection to that or not. Yeah. Quick take on Spencer Pratt. Man, his ads are just amazing. Can he be the next mayor of L.A.? I mean, is that going to...
I don't think so, no. Just because to actually win that race, he would have to actually legitimately win probably 60 to 65% of the vote to have a chance to prevail in the vote counting, because the system is so rigged in California that if let's say he were to get to 51, 52% when we go to bed on June 2nd, the day of that primary, well, the Democrats are just going to keep counting ballots and making up ballots and inventing ballots and finding ballots. And they're all going to be for what's her name, Karen Bass.
Oh, yeah.
And so they'll just continue to do that until they get to the magic number that gets Karen Bass. I mean, the same thing happened 4 years ago. It's how she got elected. When everyone went to bed on election night 4 years ago in Los Angeles, she had lost by almost 10% of the vote, but they kept counting ballots for another 3 weeks until she got over the top. And so she was running against some big real estate developer, Republican, who everyone thought had won the election for a couple of weeks. So I would love to think Spencer Pratt could win that election and be legitimately elected mayor of that city. But I just think the Democrats are so good at stealing elections in California that there's essentially no chance. Same thing in the governor's race.
We, without a phone screener this afternoon, we have a call waiting. Let's see if they would like to talk to us. Good afternoon. Who's this?
Steve.
Steve.
Three questions in one. How long will Trump wait to start up military action again? Will he try to kill the mullahs? And will he let the Israelis do the ground part to get the uranium?
I don't know. And I don't know. I don't really have an intelligent guess on any of those questions. I've been saying for at least 5 or 6 weeks now that there's no peaceful solution to this problem. There just isn't. And it's obvious that Iran has just been delaying, trying to rebuild their military. And there's a report today in the Washington Post that they're rebuilding it very rapidly. And so the president, I just think, is being played for a sucker by these people. And, so I just don't have any idea how much longer he's going to let it go on. But the alternative to going back to military action is to sign an agreement with them that looks just like the deal Obama signed. And so what's the point? What's been the point of this whole thing if you're going to do that?
Yeah.
There's only one solution here, and it's a lot more people in Iran dying. And I just don't think the president wants to do that.
Steve, thanks so much for the call. Here is good afternoon.
This
Who's
is
this?
Sam.
Hey, Sam, what's up?
This is Sam.
Good to hear from you.
Hey, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call. I'm having a good day. I'm up here in Montgomery knocking around, and I turned you guys on to get caught up. But I wanted to chime in real quick about the brewery and the beer.
Yeah.
I just I had the privilege to go to Wisconsin a couple times in the mid-'90s up to La Crosse, Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. Did some work, and while I was there, there's the old Falstaff Brewery.
Falstaff, yeah.
Yes, sir. And it's got the old root. They had the old original sight glass, and they talked about the original. There was a couple of the original tanks left from when they actually had to taste it, because every batch could come out a little different. They had to stay on. They had actually had our brewmaster had a real job other than just monitor. Anyway, but with the modern breweries, this thing looks like a petroleum tank farm. The way it is expanded, it's all computer controlled. And they rent it, and at this point, they rent out their space. They can brew anybody's beer. It's that technically advanced. Just about the taste now. They get it. They get everything the same. Anyway, my vocabulary just failed me. Repeatability is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
But it's just how it's changed over the years. When you initially the old time brews, every I don't know if you ever had a 6-pack that didn't taste right.
Oh, yes.
I don't see that anymore. But, yeah.
I had lots of 6-packs that didn't taste right.
Right. Woo, yeah, man. Here, have a. Oh, man. Oh, here you go. When the wine coolers first came out. Oh, David.
Oh
man,
God.
it's so sweet and nasty. And they put it in a 3-liter bottle. Looked like a soda pop to stick it in the refrigerator. All right. That's all I got, guys. I just had to share that little bit of fun. But
Sam, it was a great contribution.
And they gave us, when you got the tour, they gave you free beer. So it was win-win.
Oh, see,
all
it's
around.
worth it then. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. By the way, there's a great video circulating, and it's really got no attention in the media. The things that Trump has done to restore beauty to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
It's just
they'll
amazing.
never report it on the networks, I mean, but he's done so much.
And he's done it for a fraction, a tiny fraction. I think Biden said it would cost $34 million or $340 million. Trump's done it for
345 million was Biden's plan just to do the reflecting pool. Okay, between the Washington Monument and Lincoln Memorial, and Trump is doing it for $2 million. $2 million. Which is what it really should cost. But Biden's plan, of course, would have run everything through the dense web of NGOs that, run by all his cronies. And so a bunch of people would have gotten rich off of that plan, whereas Trump simply went to hire a contractor to get the job done because he's a builder and that's what builders do.
Yeah.
And so that's the difference between having a person who has actually built something in their lives running the country and having a career politician who's an idiot and senile to boot running the country.
Speaking of Joe, a judge granted his request to intervene in the Freedom of Information Act, blocking public release of 70 hours of audio tapes of his conversations with a ghostwriter. But I've got connections, and I have some of that audio in Joe's talking to the ghostwriters. Here it is.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it?
No, obviously he's going to fight like hell to prevent. I'm dying to listen to those conversations.
The DNC was in no hurry to make public their autopsy. I think the same people that did the autopsy on the Colbert Show wrote this thing. I don't think they get it. I don't think they've made even a sincere attempt to understand why Donald Trump has been elected not once, but twice, and probably 3 times.
Yeah.
Because we know 2020 was stolen. And in retrospect, this is the price they're paying for stealing it.
Yeah.
Because now it's all coming back. Good news on the fraud investigations in Minnesota. They're making arrests. Some guy that they were taking into jumped from a 4th floor balcony to evade arrest. There's a manhunt out for him. But man, and how about the woman that they did try? She is looking at 40 years in jail.
Yeah,
for stealing.
For stealing the report on the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And emailing it to herself like it was a chocolate cake recipe. That was the title she put on the email, thinking that, that's her brilliant plan to cover up her theft.
She emailed that to herself under the title chocolate cake recipe.
Chocolate cake recipe.
These are not smart people we're talking
That's how
about
clever
here.
this person is, yeah.
Holy
But
cow.
that DNC autopsy you're talking about is 192 pages long, and there is not a word in it about the 4 years the Democrat Party spent pretending Joe Biden wasn't senile. Okay. So I mean, that's how honest that report is and how much it's worth. Obviously, the main problem the Democrats had is they committed a 4-year-long fraud on the American public. That's the main problem they've got.
I think there's going to be more coming out on that too. We haven't heard about the auto pen and stuff, but you can only do so many things at one time.
Right.
I don't think Trump's going to let that go.
He shouldn't.
It's great news to see the UN, the whole climate alarm is falling apart.
Oh yeah, I mean it's become so problematic for the conflict groups. All the left-wing climate alarm groups that have made so much money pushing it. That because the EPA rescinded the endangerment funding, the entire fraud was sitting atop that endangerment funding, and when you take that out, the whole foundation for the whole global hoax falls apart.
Right.
And so that's why suddenly you don't hear anything about climate change out of these conflict groups anymore. What are you hearing about now? We've got to fight AI data centers. So AI data
that's the
centers
new enemy.
is the new enemy, the new boogeyman for the left-wing conflict groups, because they've realized they can raise a lot of money from people if they scare them about AI now. And so that's the next big thing. And it's just astonishing how much the volume has ramped up in the last 2 weeks. It's incredible. And it's, obviously exactly what we went through. I've got a long memory for this stuff. I know most people don't, but immediately after the 2020 election was stolen, the day after, we started hearing this drumbeat about climate alarm.
Yeah.
From not just the national media, but from the international media. It was an obviously coordinated event. And it just ramped up overnight. And that's what's happening to the data center industry now. And yeah, there's a lot of impacts from data centers that are legitimate and people ought to be complaining about and make sure their rights are protected and all that. But most of what we're hearing is nothing but made up BS from the same conflict groups that tried to kill the shale revolution, wouldn't let us build any pipelines for 4 years, and have fomented this global hoax on climate change for the last 30 years.
Yes.
Now they've just moved on to data centers. And, once that peters out, they'll move on to something else, because this is how they make their money.
So all the people that asked, why would Barack Obama buy a beachfront property when the ocean is clearly going to devour that? You finally wake up. You think he would have done that if he actually believed any of the crap he was pushing? The DOJ indicts Raul Castro, and the Pentagon has moved the Nimitz carrier group into the Caribbean. You think there's going to be an action there soon?
I think we're going to apply the Venezuela plan to Cuba. Yeah, I do. I don't know.
Venezuela seems to be doing. Venezuela seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's night and day. It's. I mean, almost every day there's reports out of Venezuela, people talking about how great it is, and the oil industry they're already have increased daily production of Venezuelan oil by 400,000 barrels a day in 4 months. Okay. That's how much the problem was the government and not the industry.
Kyle Busch is dead at age 41. NASCAR champ.
What did he die of?
I don't know. I didn't know.
Holy smokes.
I didn't recall hearing anything about him being ill.
Wow.
Let's grab another call before we wrap up with David. Good afternoon. Who's this?
Shocking news about Kyle Busch.
That is.
Yeah. Stunning.
Yeah, I wanted to get David's thought on the Strait of Hormuz situation, and these high gas prices are going to have a political toll that I don't think the Republicans fully understand. What could our armed forces do to help get the underwriters, the insurers that cover this oil tanker traffic? What could they possibly do to get those underwriters and insurers off the ledge?
Well, there's nothing that can be done until you have to end the military threat. There's nothing that can be done until the military threat goes away. Those insurance companies aren't going to insure those cargoes if they think the ships are going to be blown out of the water. It's as simple as that. And the only way to end that is to destroy the IRGC, the Iranian military. You have to destroy them. These are all fanatics. You have to eliminate them. And if you're not going to do that, then there was no purpose in doing any of this to begin with.
Yes.
And that's where I am on it now. If you're not going to finish the job, you shouldn't have started the job. It's as simple as that.
Because the political consequences will be significant if they don't.
And they should be.
In reverse, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. As much as I hate to say it, they ought to be significant. Because you went into this just like Bush went into Iraq without a real plan to finish the job. I mean, it's no different than that. It's not a quagmire because it's only been 3 months.
Right.
But it's the same problem. You didn't have a real plan to finish the job.
Well, on a positive note, Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei. Yeah, boy.
0.75 ERA. The guy is throwing the lights out of the ball. Starting to hit a little bit better, too.
Might win the Cy Young. Not going to be MVP this year, but he might win the Cy Young.
That would be impressive. I mean, to put one of those next to an MVP.
Yeah.
Playing two different positions. He may be one of the greatest players in the history. Up there with Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
The Yankees are not a topic we have time to discuss this afternoon.
No, it's just up and down game, They'll come back.
They do this to, throw a lineup out there with $300 million worth of lumber, and they couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle.
Well, yeah. That's where the Dodgers were 10 days ago. So, it's an up and down deal.
That's why he's my Northern Star friend. Because now I feel better already.
Yeah, see, 10 days from now, I'm going to be down in the dumps, and your Yankees are going to have an 8-game winning streak.
I'll be there for you if that's the case. David, thank you for your time as always. DavidBlackman.substack.com. Subscribe for brilliant political analysis, and for energy information, it's Blackman@substack.com.
Y'all have a great weekend.
Oh, what are we doing next week? Monday's the holiday. We're off.
Oh, we can do it Tuesday.
Tuesday. Awesome.
Tuesday.
That's great news.
Right.
Now I'm really in a good mood. All right, we'll see you then, my friend. Take care. All right, off to the traffic dungeon with Skipper. Wall Street Business, Salem Radio Network news ahead.
Well, at the moment, we're busy on I-65 and 85 throughout Montgomery. Also, the boulevard's very busy this afternoon. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to mostly moderate traffic. No real issues that we are aware of at the moment. Please keep it here. We'll update you if accidents happen. High school students, Trenton State Community College dual enrollment program lets you earn college credit while you're still in high school. Take the first step towards your college journey. Go to TrentonState.edu for more information. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. Another winning quarter for the nation's largest retailer.
Walmart delivered another strong quarter of sales as its speedy deliveries and low prices served as a magnet for shoppers across the income spectrum. But the Arkansas-based chain offers a cautious outlook amid so much economic uncertainty. Walmart has resonated with many Americans who are carefully considering where they spend money because of inflation, and how the company performs is considered a barometer of consumer spending given its vast reach. Rich Thomason reporting.
Since President Trump signed an executive order to create a deep-sea mining industry, businesses have raised millions from investors. At least 9 companies are now in talks with the government for access to seabed minerals stretching from American Samoa to Alaska. U.S. stocks ticked higher following the reversal for oil prices at the close of Dow up 276. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Lou Choir. Since 1983, we've treated you like family. Day or night, we do things right so you can live more comfortably. Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Lou Choir right now.
Feeling the pinch on your food budget? You're not alone, but saving is easy every day at Food Outlet, Montgomery, Prattville, and Millbrook. And remember, Food Outlet is priced at cost, plus just 10%. Kick off your summer with these great specials. Good through May 26th. A 3-slab pack lean pork spare ribs, $1.97 a pound. 15-ounce original or mustard greasers potato salad, $1.97. Take home a half-gallon size of Bluebell ice cream, $5.55. Get a pound of Conecuh smoked sausage, $5.25. For those cookouts, assorted Kraft barbecue sauces, $1.47 a bottle. And get a great deal on Coke products, 12-pack cans, only $4.99. Food Outlet is locally owned. When you shop here, more of your money stays right here in our community. Your Food Outlet stores are open 7 days a week, 7 till 9. And we'll be open Memorial Day for your convenience. Check us out on Facebook for more great specials. Food Outlet in Eastbrook Shopping Center, Montgomery, Prattville at 720 East Main, and in Millbrook at 3543 Highway 14. Shop Food Outlet and pay cost plus 10%.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
It's May 21st, the greatest day ever. On the 21st of May, 1901, with the advent of motorized vehicles, Connecticut became the first state in the Union to impose a speed limit, 15 miles per hour. A day later, Sammy Hagar's great-great-great-grandfather released this iconic song.
I cannot drive 15.
Have a great May 21st, the greatest day ever.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
At 5:07, time for...
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The former leader of a Minnesota nonprofit has been sentenced to nearly 42 years in prison for her role in a staggering $250 million fraud case. Amy Bach ran Feeding Our Future, which had claimed it provided millions of meals to children in need during the pandemic. She appeared Thursday in Minneapolis federal court. Since President Trump signed an executive order to create a deep-sea mining industry, businesses have raised millions from investors and stock prices have soared. At least 9 companies are in talks with the government to access seabed minerals. Sections of the seafloor from American Samoa to Alaska could be auctioned for offshore mining this summer and through the fall. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 276 points. More details at srnnews.com.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-555-2085. 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
Grogu's on his way. He's in his rocket bassinet, hope he gets away. The Mandalorian's babysitting him. Baby Grogu, is he the son of Yoda? Seeing Baby Yoda fighting in the preschool. Seeing Baby Yoda fighting in the preschool.
It's Talk Like Yoda Day because there's a new Star Wars movie out, I guess. I will not be seeing it. I just got a call from a listener asking me to confirm that Kyle Busch of NASCAR fame has passed away at age 41. It's true. It happened just before we wrapped up with David Blackman. There was an announcement yesterday, and this is from ESPN, that he was going to miss the Coca-Cola 600. I'm not a NASCAR person, but I know that's one of the big races on the calendar every year. And all it says is he was hospitalized for a severe illness, but there's no detail about what that illness was or what symptoms he was experiencing. That was it. And whatever it was, it got him at age 41. That is such a shame. It is 11 minutes after 5 o'clock here. Again, I'm going to remind you there's a new restaurant called Smoky Notes. We're having a listener event there a week from tonight. Incredibly good barbecue and some awesome sides. And who was that I was talking to? Was it about the cabbage? It's one of the sides, but the way they do it is really awesome. I know that seems like an insignificant thing, but trust me, this place, great brisket. I don't know whether to do that or the smash burger, but lots of choices. If you scroll down on my Facebook wall, you'll find the website. You'll be able to browse for yourself. We hope to see you there. That's a week from tonight. Brant McDonald coming up to talk about today's money news in just a few minutes.
Congressman Barry Moore has always delivered for Alabama. As a member of the House Freedom Caucus, Barry Moore earned a score of 100 from Heritage Action for protecting our values. He's helped thousands of Alabama families, fought for our veterans as a veteran himself, and secured millions for infrastructure, first responders, and public safety. Barry Moore helped pass Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, delivering tax cuts for hardworking Alabama families, and stood strong to secure our borders. Now, Barry is taking that fight to the United States Senate. Barry Moore will defend our freedoms, defend the Second Amendment, protect our children, stand up for parents, and keep boys out of girls' sports, while continuing to cut taxes and lower prices. Endorsed by President Trump, Barry Moore is a proven conservative Alabama can trust.
I'm Congressman Barry Moore. I've rolled up my sleeves in Congress, and I'll keep fighting for Alabama in the U.S. Senate. I'm Barry Moore, a conservative fighter, and I approve this message.
Approved and paid for by Barry Moore for U.S. Senate.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At Montgomery Men's Health, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
Montgomery Men's Health has years of proven results for ED and low T. We've introduced treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call Montgomery Men's Health at 334-440-3663 or visit montgomerymenshealth.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now. Dial 334-440-3663 or visit montgomerymenshealth.com. Montgomery Men's Health, making it happen.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. It's time to schedule your spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give them a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 88007.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I had to bump up the weekend rain chances, and I know that's not the news you want to hear on a big weekend like this. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue well into the evening hours tonight before dying out. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day, Monday, better than normal rain probabilities with showers and thunderstorms likely at times, locally heavy downpours, highs in the middle 80s, lows tonight in the upper 60s to around 70. Just be flexible with your plans. Not much change Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
In other news that could tick you off, a Virginia judge has dismissed charges against a school official. She was charged with ignoring warning signs that a 6-year-old kid was a present danger to the faculty and other children at the school. You may remember the 6-year-old shot the teacher. Ebony Parker was charged for ignoring the warnings, but the judge said, you don't have a case. 516 joining. Is this Brant?
Yeah, hey, Greg.
Mr. Right on the Money. Good to have you on with us. Interesting day. I checked the market before I left the house. The Dow was over 50, and when I arrived here, it was down a little bit. What's the news story of the day in your world?
Greg, I hate to be the broken record, but you know what I'm going to say, right? I mean, the news, the headlines around this uranium thing.
Yes.
We dialed up the rhetoric. Now we're trying to dial it back down. Oil prices have been moving up and down.
Ugh.
That's having an impact on U.S. Treasury bond yields, and that's what sets the tone for the market. It's just kind of sort of how it's been for the last several weeks anyway, and it's no different today. So we ended up kind of closing in the green for the most part. Not a bad day. I think everyone is super focused on this SpaceX IPO. That was a big event today. SpaceX filed their S-1 with the SEC, so now it's official, and they're on the road doing their road show. They will probably raise somewhere around $60 billion at a valuation I suspect closer to $2 trillion than the $1.75 trillion. And then, as luck would have it, we get the additional drama around SpaceX of this new launch that's about to take place with this Starship. So that's a big deal, and everyone will be watching that. So SpaceX is kind of a feel-good, massive story. It will easily be the largest IPO in world history.
Mm-hmm.
And so all eyes are on that as well. And then tomorrow we get President Trump is going to swear in Kevin Warsh at a ceremony. He will officially become the new Fed chair tomorrow. And so, I'm sure the market's going to be looking forward to that. They're doing it on a Friday, of course, because don't want to disrupt markets too much. Give him some time to get settled in, and then I suspect we'll hear a little bit from him sometime next week. But that's where we are right now. We continue to get some earnings that are flowing in. It's a mixed bag. I mean, most of these are service companies that, if you think about these service software companies, they sort of propelled the market higher from over the last many years, just because of the incredible earnings growth and margin expansion and so on and so forth. But many of these companies have here recently sort of been beneficiaries of artificial intelligence and this new boom with AI and the concern as to what impact AI might have on these software as a service companies, because these companies have incredible proprietary code that have created these massive, sort of monstrous, incredible software service programs for corporate America. And if artificial intelligence can do some or all of the same thing for practically nothing, then it calls into question their business models. But some of those have reported here recently. We had some who were pretty darn strong, and that's being well received in the market, and others that not so much, where it's been a little bit of an issue, and those stocks have been trading lower. And so we'll continue to monitor that in the coming weeks. But as of right now, Greg, here we sit, market highs, and as I said, everyone's watching Iran, see if we can get a deal done once and for all. Yeah. I sure hope so, and I don't want to beat that story to death. We certainly talked about it every afternoon, I think, for the last month.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think, early on the time frame we were given was relatively brief. It has not worked out that way, and I had a call from a listener before the top of the hour that kind of touched my heart because he said, what's going to be happening with this, because I'm starting to worry about the political consequences. And given all the other progress we've made in so many areas, to have this one, it's a big one, but this one situation unravel it, or even worse, put Democrats back into power, I don't know. I'm literally praying for some kind of resolution so that the oil can move again, the price can drop, and people aren't paying $4.25 a gallon for gas here. It's really scary.
Well, it is scary, and we do need resolution because, as I've said, I think it's good, even if they have a deal this afternoon and the Strait of Hormuz is wide open, it's going to take 2 to 3 quarters, I think, for this whole thing to really unwind. And that's just the way these things work. When you go full stop on the oil and it works its way through the system, the geometric sort of impact on supply chain channels is super profound, and it just takes a lot longer to straighten things out. And in the meantime, I'm fairly convinced we will see some inflation headline numbers that are going to be a little eye-popping as we go through this. But you know what? Look, this is not lost on Trump. This is not lost on Bessent. They understand this. I think they're working hard to kind of get what they want. But at the same time, the last thing Trump can do is be perceived as caving into Iran, where essentially all we did was blow some stuff up, and then they get a bunch of money from us, and we've wounded them terribly. But they were on life support, but now they've come back, and not a whole lot was really accomplished. That's what cannot happen, and that's the problem we're in right now.
Yeah. Well, we can, when all else fails, prayer can be helpful, we hope. Brad, thank you for your time. If there's any big news tomorrow morning, give us a holler.
We sure will, buddy. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. Super nice evening, and chat with you next week.
All righty. You take care, my friend.
You too, buddy.
Bye-bye. Brett McDonald with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
As Rich Thomas predicted, showers and thunderstorms, when the humidity is this high, they can pop up at any time. And they have this afternoon, mostly to the west for now, but they will be. In fact, areas north of Montgomery, I would say Millbrook, Deatsville, and further north from there, you're going to see some pretty heavy thunderstorms. between 7 and 8 o'clock tonight, and at least a shower or possibly a thunder shower in the city. But at the moment, nothing that appears to be a serious threat. We're going to play a clip that we opened the show with today. We're going to play it one more time because it'll make you feel good, and that's a good reason to play anything. 524.
Well, we have a good bit of traffic. I-65 and 85 boulevards are a bit busy, and all of our feeder roads outbound. Not really hearing of any issues this afternoon. Keep it right here. We'll update you. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, light to moderate traffic and building as the afternoon goes on. Keep it here. We'll keep you updated. Haynes Ambulance, there for you both on the ground and in the air. From a simple patient transport to life or death situations, Haynes ready at a moment's notice. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free. E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free.
At eBike Oasis, we're more than just Montgomery's best electric bicycle store. eBike Oasis offers free 1-hour electric bicycle rentals and a full-service electric bike repair shop. Stop by eBike Oasis in Montgomery today for free rentals, repairs, and electric bicycle brands in town.
Hey, this is Ashley, owner of Pest Pro Services, and I want to help you take back your yard. We protect your outdoor space from mosquitoes, fleas, and ticks so you can enjoy being outside. We treat where mosquitoes live and breed with pro-level care, which means fewer bites, more time outside, and a backyard ready for fun. Give us a call at 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. That's 265-9990 and follow us on Facebook at Pest Pro Services. And remember, when you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro.
At Blue Water Broadcasting, we believe great advertising starts with relationships. That's why so many local business owners trust us, not just for radio, but for digital too. If you're already running digital advertising and you're not seeing results, it may be time to explore your options. Our team takes the time to understand your business, then builds custom campaigns using a multi-channel conversion-focused approach. So whether it's digital display, social media, or you need help increasing your online presence, Blue Water Broadcasting can help. Before your next campaign, let's have a conversation. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Back in 1927, an American socialist, Norman Thomas, 6 times candidate for president on the Socialist Party ticket, said the American people would never vote for socialism. But he said under the name of liberalism, the American people will adopt every fragment of the socialist program. There are many ways in which our government has invaded the precincts of private citizens, the method of earning a living. But at the moment, I'd like to talk about another way, because this threat is with us, and at the moment is more imminent.
One of the traditional methods of imposing statism or socialism on a people has been by way of medicine. It's very easy to disguise a medical program as a humanitarian project. Most people are a little reluctant to oppose anything that suggests medical care for people who possibly can't afford it. Now, the American people, if you put it to them about socialized medicine and gave them a chance to choose,
would unhesitatingly vote against it.
We had an example of this under the Truman administration. It was proposed that we have a compulsory health insurance program for all people in the United States, and of course the American people unhesitatingly rejected this. So with the American people on record as not wanting socialized medicine, Congressman Ferrand said, if we can only break through and get our foot inside the door, then we can expand the program after that. Well, let's see what the socialists themselves have to say about it. They say, once the Ferrand bill is passed, this nation will be provided with a mechanism for socialized medicine capable of indefinite expansion in every direction until it includes the entire population. Well, we can't say we haven't been warned. James Madison, in 1788, speaking to the Virginia Convention, said, since the general civilization of mankind, I believe there are more instances of the abridgment of the freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachment of those in power than by violent and sudden usurpations. Now, in our country, under our free enterprise system, we have seen medicine reach the greatest heights that it has in any country in the world. Today, the relationship between patient and doctor in this country is something to be envied any place. The privacy, the care that is given to a person, the right to choose a doctor, the right to go from one doctor to the other. But let's also look from the other side at the freedom the doctor loses. The doctor begins to lose freedoms. It's like telling a lie, and one leads to another. First, you decide that the doctor can have so many patients. They're equally divided among the various doctors by the government. But then the doctors aren't equally divided geographically. So a doctor decides he wants to practice in one town, and the government has to say to him, you can't live in that town. They already have enough doctors. You have to go someplace else. And from here, it's only a short step to dictating where he will go. This is a freedom that I wonder whether any of us have the right to take from any human being. In this country of ours took place the greatest revolution that has ever taken place in the world's history, the only true revolution. Every other revolution simply exchanged one set of rulers for another. But here, for the first time in all the thousands of years of man's relation to man, a little group of men, the founding fathers, for the first time, established the idea that you and I had within ourselves the God-given right and ability to determine our own destiny. This freedom was built into our government with safeguards. We talk democracy today. We begin to assume the aspect of majority rule is all that is needed. Well, majority rule is a fine aspect of democracy, provided there are guarantees written in to our government concerning the rights of the individual and of the minorities. What can we do about this? Well, you and I can do a great deal. We can say right now that we want no further encroachment on these individual liberties and freedoms, and that you demand the continuation of our traditional free enterprise system. You and I can do this. The only way we can do it is by writing to our congressman, even if we believe that he's on our side to begin with. Write to strengthen his hand. Write those letters now. Call your friends.
Jeff,
and tell
hold
them
on. We'll be right on.
If you don't, this program, I promise you, will pass just as surely as the sun will come up tomorrow. And behind it will come other federal programs that will invade every area of freedom as we have known it in this country. Until, one day, as Norman Thomas said, we will awake to find that we have socialism.
And if you don't do this, and if I do it, one of these days, you and I are going to spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Well, we managed to keep it away, with exceptions like Mamdani, but all he's done is demonstrate why it's a horrible idea to begin with. It's too bad New York decided to put themselves through it, but you get what you vote for there. Again, the stunning news today, the passing of Kyle Busch of NASCAR at age 41, but no details, none that I'm going to run with, about what caused his death. But that was a shocker in the sports world this afternoon. Joining us here at 5:32, it's our friend Jeff Mallinson from Georgia Floors Direct.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you guys doing today?
It's been a busy afternoon, man. Lots of news to cover and all of that. In fact, I could use some cheering up. You're open till 6. Till 7 or 6?
Till 6. We're open till 6, and our merry band of Floyers are over there. We've been busy with folks coming in for Memorial Day, getting some stuff ready for their homes, and I'm actually in a place near Talladega called East Aboga.
Wow.
We had some work up here, so I came up here to do that, and I'll be back tomorrow. But, guys, we do the same thing we've been doing for years and years and years. We have the largest selection of hardwood floors, laminate, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic and porcelain tile. We've got hundreds of rolls of carpet in stock ready for your home or business today, or we literally have thousands of color options in carpet to choose from. We've got the very popular Mohawk Smart Strand, Shaw carpet, Stanton carpet, Dreamweaver engineered floors, Fiberworks. So we've got some wonderful brands, some beautiful showroom. And, of course, we do blinds, shades, shutters, and granite quartz and marble countertops as well.
You do, and some of the new designs and countertops are really amazing. one of these days when you call in, we'll run some photos while we're talking so people can see, because it's absolutely amazing stuff. Of course, they save you time, they save you money, and year after year, the folks who vote with their dollars, Georgia Floors Direct is a consumer's choice winner year after year after year, because they do exactly what they promise to do: save you time, save you money, and deliver great quality and installation. So, your weekend schedule is your closed Memorial Day, correct?
We're closed Memorial Day. We may, depending on what traffic is, so y'all blow us up. Don't let us close early. Sometimes I'll let the guys get out of there a little early on Saturday, but come see us. We're going to be there Saturday, 9 to 5, and we'd love to help you out. Give us a call, 334-244-7004, or you can call me, 334-294-5218. We'd love to help you.
That's why people love working for Jeff, because if there's some time and he can get you loose a little early when other retail places will be open on Monday, they'll be closed, because he cares about the people that work there. And I've seen it up close and personal for many years now, haven't I?
Yeah, you've been with us from the beginning, Greg, and these guys are they're truly they're the secret ingredient, because I see the way they take care of each customer that comes in, and they really do care. So it's a big deal when somebody invites you into their home to help them do something in their home, and we don't take it lightly.
Jeff, we thank you for sharing part of your Thursday with us, and have a great weekend if we don't talk again before next week.
No doubt. Y'all have a happy Memorial Day weekend, and be safe.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Is it safe on the roads? That's Skipper's job. Here he is with Blue Water.
Well, we have an accident now. Mobile Highway at Nolan Road. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Busy traffic everywhere else. We're seeing a good number of folks out on East-South Boulevard. I-65 and 85 are busy right at the moment. A lot of cars out on the road this afternoon. We will update you when accidents happen. Davis Door and Sash is your trusted source for quality replacement windows and doors. Save 10% on materials when you mention this ad. Visit DavisDoorAndSashAlabama.com. Call 334-288-6010. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Here's more unfortunate news on top of the Kyle Busch news. He passing away at the age of 41. The homeowner of the famous Trump house in Escondido, California, brutally assaulted and left fighting for life. 11 weeks after pro-Trump signs at the residence were attacked, the homeowner of Escondido's well-known Trump house covered a large Trump flags, patriotic displays, was violently assaulted outside his home, and rushed to the hospital in critical condition. And you can bet your ass there are Democrats applauding this. He is in ICU fighting for his life. Escondido police responded to the assault around 2:14 this afternoon and quickly arrested a suspect nearby. He's been charged with attempted murder. Motive is not been released, but I think we can kind of figure that out. Home has long been a local landmark for pro-Trump and America-themed displays. Bastard. Doing something like that. But this is what their reply is. They can't win the war of ideas. They can't win the war of words. So we'll just try and kill you. And if you think that's going overboard, I'm sorry. You're wrong.
News is brought to you by Bath Innovations. Call Bath Innovations today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A Tallahassee man charged with the murder of his wife was ordered back to jail Wednesday following a bond hearing. Zachary Lee had been released on a $1.5 million bond by paying just $15,000, approximately 1% of the total bond amount. Zachary Lee was arrested last year after his wife Bethany was found dead with a gun in her hand. Lee reportedly told police he shot his wife after she first shot at him. The former Ben Moore Hotel in Montgomery is now listed among the most endangered historic places. The hotel is one of 11 sites on this year's list compiled by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Residents and guests at the Old Benmore Hotel included B.B. King, Little Richard, and Martin Luther King Jr. In the 1960s, the building became a headquarters for civil rights activists to organize. The city of Montgomery will reopen the Riverfront Park splash pad on Saturday. Following extensive repairs, the splash pad returns just in time for Memorial Day weekend. The facility features interactive water elements for children and fun for the whole family. The Riverfront Park splash pad will be open daily from 9 to 7 p.m. beginning this Saturday. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Bath Innovations of Alabama can replace your old bathtub with a low-step shower featuring built-in seating, secure grab bars, and slip-resistant flooring, often installed in as little as 1 day. Call Bath Innovations of Alabama today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
This is not headline news. U2's new single is called Street of Dreams. I'll use it in a sentence. When you hear Street of Dreams at their concert, it's time for a bathroom run. Papa John's is expanding to sandwiches because even Papa John's knows their pizza's not that great. A man from Nepal has set a record by climbing Mount Everest 32 times, leaving people to say, "Dude, we get it." And Carmel, Indiana is the best city in the U.S. Residents have access to schools, parks, and thanks to their proximity to the Colts, laughter. This is not headline news.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. The 5 things to do when you are considering selling your home. Number 1, get a realtor to evaluate your home, and that will make suggestions on updates needed for your home, painting suggestions, and staging tips to highlight your home. Number 2, along with the evaluation of the house, you need an updated market analysis that compares your house to other houses for sale and those that have sold. Number 3, do a walk around your own home to see what you could do to improve the curb appeal to potential buyers. Since research tells us that 8 out of 10 home buyers choose the house that they view based on the curb appeal of the home. Number 4, review online the houses that have sold in your neighborhood to see how yours compares with the ones that buyers have chosen. Number 5, if possible, use a CRS certified realtor in your marketplace. For other details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I had to bump up the weekend rain chances, and I know that's not the news you want to hear on a big weekend like this. The chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue well into the evening hours tonight before dying out. Overnight low temperature down to about 69. Then for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday, better than normal rain probabilities with showers and thunderstorms likely at times, locally heavy downpours, highs in the middle 80s, lows tonight in the upper 60s to around 70. Just be flexible with your plans. Not much change Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Wow, that imbecile that's the mayor of Seattle is now wishing she hadn't advocated for a Starbucks boycott. But I look at her, she looks like a mental patient to me. And I don't understand how somebody that vacuous can be elected mayor to begin with. So maybe Seattle's getting what it deserves. I don't know. Not a place I would like to visit. All right, we played this clip to open the show, and you can watch it on YouTube, Happy Hour with Greg Bedell. And it happened, this is, remember, over this past weekend, George Soros chartered 109 buses to drive from Birmingham here to Montgomery so that AOC and her ilk could tell us how awful the end of their rigged election system is. The racial gerrymandering that has put a lot of really stupid people into Congress. Mazie Hirono, who is the lunatic Democrat senator from Hawaii, brought this up in a hearing today in the Senate, and Ted Cruz tied up her beazle schmeazit into one big package with a bow and handed it right back. This is one of the best clips I have ever heard, so please listen.
So why don't you just stop lecturing the rest of us? Just because you think you are the smartest person in the world doesn't mean the rest of us agree to that, okay? Thank you.
Senator Hirono,
Senator,
I knew Diane.
Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a moment ago, our colleague Senator Hirono said there's a lot more to say, and indeed she's right. And in fact, I want to go back to her comments. She began by saying we have a long history of racial discrimination in this country. That's undoubtedly correct. And then she said, quote, we had poll taxes, we had literacy tests, we even had tests of how many jelly beans are in a jar. Mr. Chamberlain, when Senator Hirono says we had poll taxes, I want to ask you who we is, and in particular, what party was it that implemented poll taxes in the South?
And I don't want to necessarily speak in every single case, but I'm pretty confident it was mostly the Democrats.
And what party was it that put literacy tests in place in the South?
Same answer, mostly the Democrats.
And what party was it that had tests like how many jelly beans are in a bottle?
The Democrats.
Tell me, what party were the founders of the Ku Klux Klan from?
I'm pretty sure that was the Democrats.
Indeed. In fact, Nathan Bedford Forrest, the founder of the Klan, was a delegate to the 1860 Democrat National Convention. What party wrote the Jim Crow laws in the South?
The Democrats.
And so on this side of the aisle were members of the Republican Party. Who was the first Republican president?
Abraham Lincoln.
The Republican Party was literally founded to oppose slavery. We came into existence because slavery was a grotesque evil, and it was President Lincoln, the first Republican president, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation, who won the Civil War, and that resulted in the freeing of the slaves and the passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. By the way, fast forward to the Civil Rights era. Bull Connor, one of the most noxiously racist politicians. What party was he from?
He was a Democrat.
The Democrats, for the entire history of their party, have been a party based on racial discrimination. They affirmatively embrace it. They support it. Let me ask you, Mr. Grime, is discriminating based on race consistent with the United States Constitution?
No.
What does the 14th Amendment say about discrimination based on race?
It's prohibited.
What does the 15th Amendment say about discriminating based on race, and in particular drawing congressional lines and explicitly discriminating based on race?
It's prohibited.
Now, the Democrats are fond of telling this story that is, and I wish I could find a kinder way to say it, a flat-out lie. That without discriminating based on race, that No African Americans will be elected, and no Hispanics will be elected. Indeed, there was one fellow online who was a vocal left-wing spokesperson who tweeted out, "If I'm advising anybody to run for president, they sure as hell better have a solution to how you make sure that it's not another 100 years before another black person can represent South Carolina." So that's a typical Democrat statement, that we cannot elect a black person in South Carolina without discriminating based on race. I want to ask you, Mr. Chamberlain, who is the junior senator from South Carolina right now?
That would be Tim Scott.
And, all right, I'll tell you what I said online. I said, hey, Grok, who is Tim Scott? And why do Democrats think he isn't black? And by the way, was Tim Scott elected because of a gerrymandered district drawn only to elect an African American?
No, he won statewide.
He won statewide. By the way, the Democrat position is you can only elect African Americans with a gerrymandered district. I will point out Burgess Owens, an African American, is elected in a majority white district in the state of Utah. He's a Republican. Byron Donalds, another African American, is elected in the majority white district in Florida. He is a Republican. John James, another African American, is elected in the majority white district in Michigan. He is a Republican. And my own congressman, Wesley Hunt, who represents me in the House of Representatives, he is elected in the majority white district. He is a Republican. And yet in the Democrats' world, you're not black if you're not a liberal Democrat. There is an arrogance to African American voters. By the way, they also have that same arrogance to Hispanic voters. They say you're not Hispanic if you're not a liberal Democrat. Well, I'll tell you, I am proud to be the first Hispanic ever elected to represent the state of Texas in the United States Senate. And Mr. Chamberlain, in my election in Texas, was I elected in a gerrymandered district that could only elect an Hispanic?
No, you were elected statewide.
Discrimination based on race is wrong. Final question. The Democrats are now clutching their pearls that seats drawn to elect liberal Democrats in the South are going to go away. You may get black Republicans instead. Indeed, in Tennessee, they're freaking out that a liberal white guy who's a Democrat is likely going to lose his seat to an African American woman who's a Republican, and they say that's horrible racial oppression.
So right.
My final question is this. If you look nationwide, which party has egregiously abused gerrymandering for decades? Both parties are guilty of it, but who has been the worst offender? And in particular, take New England. Take Massachusetts, take Connecticut, take Rhode Island, take Maine, take Vermont, take New Hampshire. How many Republicans are elected from all of New England in the House of Representatives?
I think the answer to that is zero.
Zero. They've drawn every district in a naked gerrymander, and yet they're very upset that their illegal pursuit of power has now been stopped by the Supreme Court that is enforcing the Constitution and prohibiting the racial gerrymandering and discrimination their party is built on.
Mr.
Senator Vidal.
Mr. Chairman, part of personal privilege.
Sure.
I feel personally aggrieved to sit here and to be lectured by my colleague from Texas. And this reminds me of the time when he was first elected to the Senate and the Judiciary Committee had a hearing on gun safety, and he felt a need to lecture Dianne Feinstein, who was a leader on gun safety legislation, and he took that opportunity to lecture Dianne Feinstein about gun safety and her leadership on the issue. And she said to him something along the lines of, I did not sit here on this committee for however many years she did, only to be lectured by you, and that is how I feel. So why don't you just stop lecturing the rest of us? Just because you think you are the smartest person in the world doesn't mean the rest of us agree to that.
Did you hear anything in there that rebutted a word of what Ted Cruz said? She is an imbecile. And Hawaii, you can do better than that any day. All right, we're going to wrap up the YouTube feed. We've got one final look at the roads, and then we'll say good night.
Well, we have